Hello and welcome, everybody. Hi, welcome. It's time for Atomic Radio Hour, the post-nuclear podcast. This is episode 225. How are you? You look fantastic. Welcome to the program. How are you? Tons of things to talk about this week. Of course, I'm going to talk about the meetups that happened the previous weekend. I won something which is rare. I have a nice bit of lore, the final week of Monster Month. And then last, for the third segment of the program, we're going to talk about the Amazon TV, Amazon Prime Fallout show that more has been, I don't want to say leaked, but spoken about. Some footage of some actual props in motion, all stuff we're going to talk about in the third segment. But first, I'd like to welcome you to Atomic Radio Hour. Hi. You can listen to the show anywhere. You can download a podcast, or I think the best place to watch it is right here on YouTube. You can listen, you can watch, you can hang out for a spell. Welcome to the show. Like I said, episode 225. I just want to get right into the meetup. So, there was meetups. There was 4 of them. There was, Washington, D.C., of course, yes, but there was also West Virginia, Good Springs, Nevada, and Boston, Massachusetts. And I went to the one that was in Washington, D.C., which honestly was the one that I feel like got the most appreciation, I guess, the most love, the most affection, because it had the biggest turnout, and also because people from Bethesda showed up, which I'm going to get to in a minute. But I flew in Saturday. The meetup was October 23rd, that's Sunday. I flew in Saturday. My family came and met me at the airport. We got ourselves a hotel room. It was nice. I got to see them. We got to have a meal together. Actually, I went to Wawa. If you're on the East Coast, you know of Wawa. I haven't had Wawa in like almost 2 years, and they have their seasonal sandwich, the Gobbler, which is just Thanksgiving on a bun. And I had that, and was delicious. I loved it. It was nice to see my family. The next day, we got up nice and early. I believe I left the hotel at like 9:30, and we walked to the metro. I went to the Lincoln Memorial where we met up. I was there at like 10:30, 11. Behind me is probably a picture, if I have one, of just really myself, or me and my brother by the Lincoln Monument Memorial. And then I took a walk to the Washington Monument and came back, got something to eat. I actually got falafel. They had food trucks. They had a bunch of halal trucks, which is fantastic. It's like one of my favorite types of food. Got falafel, walked back. By the time I got back, it was we were supposed to meet up at 1. It was about 12:30, and people were already starting to gather. And I showed last episode. If you were there, if I met you at the meetup, you'll know. I was handing out bottle caps just left and right. So planes are fun, and I took like 300, if not more, bottle caps with me in my backpack. I packed incredibly light. My mom actually brought me a bunch of clothing that I left home from when I moved out. I put like a good maybe like 20% of my backpack was just bottle caps. And I put as many as I could. I put all of them in there, and then my clothing, and I got on, and I was so worried the whole time that TSA was going to be like, "What's this? What is this? Why do you have all of these metal pieces in your backpack?" I was in and out, nothing. So I was handing them out at the gathering, and we walked from. I walked like the entire weekend. I was there Sunday, Monday. I was there Saturday a little bit, but it was really just get off the plane, get to DC. Get to DC, get to the hotel, go to bed. In 2 days, I walked almost 20 miles. At least my Fitbit, my little Pip-Boy thing. I can't name it, but I wish I could, because I would name it my Pip-Boy. My Pip-Boy pretty much was just like, hey, you've walked. It was like 8.6 miles the first day, and then like 9.6, or it was 8.4, 9. It was in 2 days, I almost walked 20 miles. So I did a lot of walking, but like I did all this walking. We get there, and then they had a cosplay contest. Behind me is probably the meetup. I'm like right there in the middle of it, which is actually super funny. If you follow me on Twitter, you've most definitely seen this. If you follow Fallout on Twitter, I know you've seen this, because they tweeted this out and it got passed around. A bunch of people saw it. It's wild. It's buck wild to me that Fallout, the official Fallout Twitter, posted a picture with me in it. And not only that, the post that I made, which is probably right behind me, right here, they retweeted that. And here's the picture of them retweeting it. Like, I even tweeted about that going like, I can't believe that Fallout retweet. Like, if you would have told me that, like, what had happened in those few days, it would have, like, when I was 11, 12 years old playing this game, I would have looked at you in the face and said, you're a liar. Like, those things will never happen. This is a game that me and a small group of my friends know about. And then I met up with a bunch of strangers in DC to celebrate my favorite game, my favorite series, my favorite franchise. And like, my mom and my brother throughout the entire thing were super cool. My brother's played a little bit of Fallout 3. He's played a little bit of Fallout 4. I don't think he's played 76. My mom has no clue what any of this shit is. And she was there and she was hanging out and like, yeah, make fun of me. I went with my mom, but when else? I'm never on the East Coast anymore. When am I going to see my mother? You wouldn't want to hang out with yours? Like, it was cool. She was hanging out and like, she was just having a good time. My mom also like took me to my first conventions. And for some people, I was reading on Twitter that this was their first type of convention or meetup. And I get it. Like, it's a big deal. It's fun, like, especially when you're letting your quote unquote freak flag fly and you're just kind of indulging in what you love. And it turns out that there's other people that love what you love the way you love it. It's awesome. So I only had one real gripe. I'll be completely honest with you guys. If you were there, I'm not calling you out. I'm just saying during the trivia portion, we got to do better as a community. Some of these questions were baseline Fallout questions that I feel like we should have known. Again, as a community, not calling us out. I want to see us do better. One of them was like, what year was the first game released? 97. Like, the Vault Dweller leaves what vault in the first Fallout game? 13. Actually, if you're a long-time listener, I almost like, I turned around and looked at my brother and like grabbed him by the shoulders and like tried not to shake him. To make a long story short, at the midnight release of Fallout 4, I lost the competition, coming in 4th place because I didn't know one question and I knew every other question, and I was telling the guy giving the questions that his answers were wrong just because I knew these questions inside and out. And the question that got me was, what star of the ABC hit sitcom Friends voiced Benny in Fallout New Vegas, right? So the dude who was emceeing is one of Fallout 5-0, the cops, the 76 group that they role play in 76. I met a bunch of people that were big in the community. They were dressed up as responders. I met one of the guys from Eat, Dyslexic Eddie from Eat Hello. It was cool. It was nice to like meet the community as people and the streamers and all these people, but also because I feel so disconnected from the 76 community and I want to be a part of it because it is part of Fallout, and I just feel like I'm not super into it. There's a bug on my wall. Who let you in? I sure as shit didn't. It was nice to meet them and talk to them and see why they love the game. And if there's anything that I already knew, it's the community aspect of it. And the community of it was physical. It wasn't just us sitting around with headsets. And I appreciate that so much. So anyway, the point I'm getting at, 2 points that I'm getting at is, one, Commander Johns is emceeing this. He's asking all the trivia questions and he's going down the list of the cosplayers, and some of the cosplay, again, sorry for the tangent, fantastic. The Vault-Tec salesman was one that stood out in my mind. The Survivor, the Honest Hearts Survivor, the Raiders. There was one woman who was there that just had like a Nuka-Cola shirt on. It was all dirty, and the pants and the shoes and the little devil horns looked straight out of the game. It was fantastic. Even just the fun that the people that were cosplaying as Raiders had, just of looking like these dingy, dirty, smelly, stinky Raiders. Just fantastic for this scale of a meetup was just such a fun time. But as everybody probably knows and saw if you follow on Twitter, and if you don't, sorry to assume, but if you follow this on Twitter, Wes Johnson was there. And I didn't understand how important it was going to be for me to like be able to talk with him for even just a brief period of time, and how cool it was to see how into the fandom he is. I don't know if Wes himself has ever played a Bethesda game, be it Fallout or Skyrim, which, like, as I'm recording this, I realized I had the chance to get an official scoop on Elder Scrolls 6, and it totally passed me up because I'll be honest with you, I was crying at one point for the story I'm about to tell you, because it just means so much to me. Because the 11-year-old inside of me, there's a lot of people that talk about, like, that I've seen that people talk about healing your past trauma, the trauma that you had as a child. I'm not saying this is traumatic, but I see it a lot with people who buy sneakers. It's like, I couldn't afford these sneakers. My parents couldn't afford these sneakers as a kid for me. So now I just buy whatever I want. So, like, the 11-year-old, the 12-year-old in me that's been playing this game since it came out, smiled and got to kind of live again for a brief period of time. But just as what I want to do is just ask him if he recorded his lines for Elder Scrolls 6. Totally forgot. We kind of did all the, a representative from Bethesda was there. Lady Devon, the streamer, was there. And Lady Devon wound up giving out a ton of merch. And I'm going to show you some of the stuff, because some of the stuff that I got, I'm going to be giving away at some time. I have all this other stuff that I want to give away. There's a keychain, there's an air freshener, a lunchbox, a bobblehead, a mug. If you've seen the episode of Atomic Radio Hour where I do the unboxing, there's going to be a link, and I believe the corner above my head, where my hand is right now, right there should be a link there to that video of all the stuff that I'm going to give away. But I was given a sticker of the Vault Boy from 2007, which means if it was picked up, if it's a Bethesda product, that means that's a sticker that is now on my record shelf. That is pre-Fallout 3, which means that is when they were promoting it at either some event or printed it before E3 of 2008, the E3 that, like, or 2007, 2008, the one that, like, I saw the game at, and I was like, I need to play this retro futuristic shit that I've never seen before. Anyway, as I tangent again from the fantastic time I've had, the pictures are all taken, and it seems like we took one of the final pictures together as a group. I don't know if it's the one that was passed around, but it was one of them. And my mom was carrying most of my stuff. I call it my purse, because I think it's silly that men can't have purses because they're so convenient. I had Quest bars in mine, and, like, I was keeping my bottle caps in there. So I gave my mom my backpack. I gave my mom and my brother my backpack. And inside my backpack was my copy of Fallout 3 that I have on my shelf. Now, I'm showing you the back on purpose. I will be showing you the front of it in just a moment. And my mom just kind of shoves the game at me. And Wes Johnson's in front of me, and I go, "Hey, Wes." I was like, "Would you mind signing my game?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure, bring it over." So the woman who worked for Bethesda that was there. So behind me will be the picture of it's me. Let me see if I can stand where I'm probably going to be. I think I'm on this side. It's me, a woman named Jessica works for Bethesda, Lady Devon, the streamer, and Wes Johnson. And, like, after that photo was taken, my mom shoves me this game, and I'm like, could you sign it? And I was asking Jessica, the woman who works for Bethesda, if she had a pen on her, because I forgot to get a Sharpie. And as I asked Wes Johnson if he could sign my copy of Fallout 3, now mind you, this copy of Fallout 3 still has the U sticker on it, and this sticker here, that's actually not, I'll see if I can get it in there. It's actually not stuck on, which I didn't know, but these are from 2008. Like, I never took them off. Like, this is my copy that I got on my birthday. This is the copy that started it all, right? So I said, "Hey, Wes, would you mind signing this?" And as I hand him the game, I took, like, the plastic casing off, so it's on the cover of the game. As I hand it to him, he goes, "Is there any character that is your favorite?" And I said, "Fox. Genuinely Fox." And I didn't think he was going to ask this, but he goes, "Is there a line of dialogue like puny humans, or I need flesh, or anything that's even just super mutant speech?" And I really thought about it for a second. And one of my only friends that I really had to play Fallout with or talk to about Fallout with was Olive, the old co-host of the show. And I always misquote it. And I said to him, "Is something troubling you, my friend?" And Fox always says that when you talk to him. At least most of the time. I in my head, he says it all the time. I could be wrong. It's one of those things. No matter how many hours I play it, it always feels like something's a little different. And I misquoted it because I'm pretty sure it's just something troubling you, my friend, with a question mark. And I said, is something troubling you, my friend? And I saw Wes Johnson sign it. And I have it. Oh, I didn't even show it off. Look at me. How silly. And it's right here. Is something troubling you, my friend, on my copy of Fallout 3 that I got on my 11th birthday. I thought about a lot. Like, I thought about, like, what the character Fox means to me. Because for me, I've said this before, and I'll try to say it really quickly. Fallout 3, I was kind of just a lonely kid. Not that I didn't have friends or anything, because I always had friends. I just always felt kind of like a lonely kid. Like, I always just kind of felt like I was in my room and, like, doing stuff by myself and just watching TV and being on the internet. Like, I felt kind of to myself. And here comes along Fallout 3, a game that opens up with you're born and you are pushed aside instantly because your mother is dead. And then you flash forward a year and you're a baby and your dad goes, hey, bucko, I got to dip for a minute. And then you go to your birthday party 9 years later, your 10th birthday party, and you have one real friend in the vault, and it's Amada, and she helps your dad set up the party for you, but your dad sits far away, and Old Lady Palmer's there, and Butch and the future Tunnel Snakes are there, and Amada wants, it feels, to me, this is how I interpret it, Amada feels like she wants to be with you constantly. You're best friends with this character, and you just can't. She doesn't want to be on top of you. Again, this is how I feel. Old Lady Palmer gives you a sweet role, and Butch is just being a jerk instantly, and the other Tunnel Snakes don't really want anything to do with you. And then you kind of just leave your own party to go into the basement. And yeah, your dad's there, but there is a sense of just distance between him and you. And then on your 16th birthday, you take the goat, and again, you feel alone. You have Amada, and you stick up for Amada, but you feel alone. Like, even just the process of going to sit in one of the chairs to take the goat feels lonely. And you wake up when you're 19 years old, and your dad's gone, and the whole vault hates you, and you have to find your way out. And then you leave the vault, and there you are. Alone. In a desolate world that does not make sense to you because you do not understand the workings of this world. And you go the whole game trying to find some sort of community. And maybe Fox hits harder for me because I didn't take a single companion the entire game. I didn't know about Dogmeat until I had pretty much beaten the game. And I found Fox. And I found a character who was ostracized by his own people, who was set aside. And you find Fox, and there's a kinship there. The memories I have of Fox and I walking through the metro, just decimating ghouls. I'm sorry, I learned this today. The term decimate means to destroy 10%. I apologize. Annihilating, eviscerating ghouls, destroying raiders. It stood with me. Like, just the loneliness of Fox, the loneliness of your character in the game. All of this stood with me. And he signs the game and he hands it back to me. We had a nice little back and forth, a decent little conversation, Wes Johnson and I. And I walked back out of conversation with him, and I went back and I put the sleeve back in the game, and my mom's like, hey, that's pretty cool. My mom recorded like the whole thing. She took videos of everything. She took pictures of everything. I didn't take any pictures. Like, everything behind me is like my mom or my brother took because I was just so into it. Like, I was just so excited to be there. I forgot to take pictures. One of the only pictures I took was of Dyslexic Eddie so I could get his name for Twitter. And I just started to cry. Like, I just started to well up a bit. Like, I was sitting there going, like, I was like looking at my mom going, I'm crying in the club. I'm crying in the club on a Tuesday. Like, it's just, this game means so much to me. The themes of it mean so much to me. And to see that we were celebrating it, not only with other people who loved it, but someone who's in it to an extent. Like, Wes did voices all day. I totally spaced on Sheogorath. I wanted to ask him if it's Shigarath, Sheogorath, like, how does he say? Because then I totally friggin' spaced. And he had such a good time there. But I got swag. I got a ton of cool stuff. And there's a bunch of stuff I want to show you. I'm going to show you the things real quick because I'm going to give it away. Now, I thought I had another one of this, but for those playing 76, right here I have, let me switch hands. Right here I have a Wastelanders update, Fallout 76 Wastelanders Raider beanie. I thought I had a Settler one or a Survivor one. I don't know what happened to it. It might be in my duffel bag. I haven't completely packed. I've just been pulling the clean underwear out and putting it on before I go to work. I also got, these weren't given out at the event, but these are mine that are going on the shelf. I know Fallout 3 wouldn't have Metro cards akin to what we have today, but I have 2 Metro cards. I'm going to keep one in pristine condition, and I'm going to destroy the other one. I'm going to take some sandpaper to it, maybe chip an edge off, take a lighter to it, just make it look like it's been through hell and back. Just these 2 Metro cards here, they're going to go on the shelf. Also, in this hand, if it doesn't already show up, I have Washington, D.C.'s best sightseeing tour map, which I just want to cut out the mall. Just this. Where is my phone? I want to cut out just this here and crinkle it up and put it on the shelf. Just, I don't even know where or how, but I just want to make it look like it's been sitting for 200 years through various different weather storms and people walking over it and been kicked around. Also, someone else was giving, I believe it was Dom Quantum. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. I do believe that I am correct when I say this. If you're watching this, hey pal, thank you so much for this. It is a Nuka-Cola Quantum charm. The same that is like in Fallout 4 when you get a key, it's on your key. If I remember correctly, in the Fallout for Hope Discord, he originally wanted to make it out of a filament that was glow in the dark, which is super cool either way, because look at this. Look how cool this is going on the Nuka-Cola section of my shelf with my Jones Quantum next to my little Nuka girl and my super limited Nuka-Cola bottle cap, 2 bottle cap openers. The one that came as a pre-order bonus for Best Buy and the one that I have literally never seen another one of out in the wild. That is on my shelf. I got a St. Jude because we did it to raise money for St. Jude. I got a St. Jude pin, and what's even cooler about this pin is it's a magnet. This is going to go on the shelf as well. It's not directly Fallout, but to commemorate, I'm not even on screen, to commemorate my time there, to really look back and think about what we did, because what we did was awesome. I also got, and I haven't taken it out yet, I'll put it behind me. I used it for one of the thumbnails recently, the key art. Lady Devon was going, hey, where is everybody from? And what I thought was so funny is all of her swag that she brought, like the 76 Wastelanders beanie, was in canvas duffel bags. And I really wanted to make a joke, but I also, I wanted the free stuff. This is one of the few things that I will not be giving this one out, but I'll get to that in a second. This is the 25th anniversary key art. This one I want to get professionally framed, and I want to put it on the wall behind me. Because when this isn't up, when this green screen isn't up, there's just a wall here. Like, I don't have anything on it. I put the green screen up to record. But what I'm thinking about doing is grading some of my favorite games and putting them on the wall here just to kind of fill the room out. Tie it together a little bit. So this is still in here. The way I got it was Lady Devon's going, where's everybody from? And we're in Daryland. We're in D.C., not far from Maryland, West Virginia, or not West Virginia. Geez, I'm excited. Virginia, sorry. And you hear New York, Pennsylvania, and I go, Colorado. And she goes, Colorado, here you go, and just handed me one. And then there was a woman there, Wreck-It Renee. She's like, California. They drove all the way from California for this event, which I thought was super cool because I flew. I took the easy cash cheap way, I guess, is what I'm looking for. But here's kind of the coolest part, I think. These I will be giving away. I already have one. And Kyle, if you haven't gotten it already, when my mom went back home, I gave her one of these for you. So if you haven't gotten it, I'm sorry. The surprise has been ruined. But I have here like 6 or 7 Vault Boy masks. They don't sell these. These are promotional only. So I will be giving these out. But one of them here, 3 of them are sealed. I gotta hide it. 3 of them are sealed. These 3 right here are sealed. I have a mic stand. Why am I not using it? 3 of these masks are still sealed. Now, Some of them just came out of the packaging, but these 3 are pristine. So if you wanted to keep one in the package, I will be adding these to the giveaway stuff. Like I said, I have all that other stuff to give away, but these masks, look how creepy this looks. These masks will be given away. These 3. I have more that will be given away. So I have those 3 that are sealed that'll be given away. I have these 2 that are opened that will be given away. And then I have one that's incredibly special. This one here is a Vault Boy mask signed by Wes Johnson. This one is a big one. This one I need to hit a certain subscriber milestone on YouTube to give this away. So if you want to win this mask, this Vault Boy mask, inside you can see it's from the Fallout 4 days because it's from 2015 when these were made. If you would like to win this mask, I have to hit a certain subscriber milestone. What I'm thinking about doing, because I believe I promised I would drink the Nuka-Cola, the Jones Nuka-Cola Quantum when I hit 1,000 subs. Each one of these giveaway items, what I'd like to do is maybe do the masks every 50 subs, do another mask giveaway. But these bigger items, the lunchbox, the keychain, the air freshener, the bobblehead, the mug, all of that stuff, I want to do every 100. And when we hit 1,000, when I hit 1,000 subscribers, I'll drink that on a live stream and I'll give away the Wes Johnson mask. So if you want it and you like the show, spread the word around. Tell a friend, tell a friend, and tell a friend. In the words of Mike Birbiglia, tell your friends and tell your enemies. Because I think that's a super cool addition to any collection that anybody may want if they're a collector. I know one of the people that were at the meetup was a big time collector, and I didn't realize that until after we had left because I would have loved to speak to them about their collection. I didn't get to do that, so hopefully we can see each other again at another meetup. I had a blast of a time. If anybody from the meetup is watching, thank you for going. I want to thank Commander Johns. I'm sorry I didn't get your real name or your wife's name because you guys seem like you were running it. I really apologize. I was very into the whole thing. They are from Fallout 5.0. They were dressed as responders. His cosplay was phenomenal. The jacket he had on was great. The hat, I'm always a big fan of Captain's hat. He's probably behind me somewhere in the photo. Again, behind me. I'm here, somewhere in here as well, and a bunch of fantastic people that I met. Nobody was rude. Everybody was very warm and welcoming and accepting, and you could just feel, I apologize, last week, I realized I was saying Ferret's last name incorrectly. I'm still not sure if I'm saying it correctly. Bowden. But we took a moment to remember this man. We took a moment so we could sit back and think about what he had done to affect people's lives who are playing 76. And I really just had a great time. Like, I have no other way to put it. Like, I just had a fantastic time. I got to the memorial first, as far as I knew. And when we were at the Washington, I didn't leave until there was me, the survivor in the caves, the cosplay, and one other fella, 2 other people. It was 4 people that were there, and it was kind of like I saw my family show up, and I was like, "We got to go," and they're like, "Yeah," and then we all just kind of dispersed. And as soon as we were there, we were gone. But there was a special something in there that I feel like will speak to me. And it spoke to a lot of other people, and it will for a very long time. I feel like we're all going to remember that. And if anything, it just reminded me that community is so important. We have to foster these things. We have to make sure that we're taking care of one another. And just it's nice to have a friend out in the wastes. It was also cool just to be in the subway, in the metro. Behind me is a couple shots that I took of just being inside because it looks so much like Fallout 3. And to look at things here's a picture of the Jefferson Memorial at Project Purity. Here it is behind me. This is real. And I went there, and God, was it cool to see all that stuff. It was, being able to appreciate it as older. There was actually scaffolding on the Jefferson that reminded me of the scaffolding that's around Project Purity. And just everything about it just was better and better and better. And I got to explore a city and take Lime scooters. If you were there, thank you. Seriously, thank you. I can't wait to see you again. Hopefully some people from the Washington one will go to the one in Good Springs, because I'm absolutely going. I'm making a whole weekend out of that one because it's my birthday weekend. It's it's a little more than a year from when this episode will go live, so I'm making a big deal out of it. I would love for Kyle to come. I want to do it, and I would love to see you there. Now, one more topic before we get into the lore for this week, and I can talk about the Fallout show coming out, is I actually won the lithograph, and that's why I'm not opening that one yet, because I want to see if I'm getting it. I was at Best Buy looking for camera parts, and I was going to bring a nicer camera with me. If you remember a few episodes back, I said a friend gave me a camera, and I went to Best Buy looking for the cable and a spare battery. Back in my day, you could just walk into a Best Buy and buy that. And I say to the guy working there, I'm like, look, pal, I just need this cable and this battery. And he's like, the only way I'm going to be able to get you a Nikon battery or a Canon battery is if I sell you a brand new camera. And I'm like, you're kidding. And he's like, no, not at all. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I didn't take it. But like, as I'm walking into Best Buy, I get this DM from Fallout. And I go, why is Fallout message? Wait, Fallout. Click on it. It's like, congratulations, you've won the 25th anniversary lithograph. So one of the lithographs I will be giving away as a part of this whole thing. I want to see when that one shows up. If it has some sort of a, like a certificate. That one might have it. I have no clue. But if it has like a numbered thing on it or something about it, I would like to frame that with what I'm getting. So either way, one of them is going to be given away. I just don't know when. Some people had Wes sign theirs, but I didn't. I didn't want to pop it open, so I just left it as is. But I won a lithograph. I never win anything. And it was kind of like serendipitous because I walked into Best Buy and I saw that and I was like, yeah, like I was with a friend. I was going, holy shit, I won something? And the guy was like, we don't have the camera part. And I got in the car with my friend. I was like, it's a good thing that I got that message as I walked in, because if I would have walked in and they were like, we can't get you this, I would have been bummed for the rest of the day. So it was nice. It was cool. I actually won something for once. So before I get into the lore, I have to thank the Patreon. If you like the show, you can support on Patreon. There's also a link to the Redbubble where you can support in a smaller way. But if you like the show and you'd like to see it get bigger and better, there's always the Patreon. And I have to thank some people. Starting from the top, I have to thank the OG Noah. Thank you, Noah. After Noah, I have to thank Danny. After Danny, I have to thank Marcus. After Marcus, I have to thank TP. Thank you to all of you for your love and support. I appreciate the hell out of you. Because of you guys, I can continue to do this. The show then pays for itself because of you guys. So thank you. I appreciate you. Now, on to the final week of Monster Month, all through October. What I've been doing is I've been taking a monster, a creature, a mutant, something from the wasteland that keeps you up at night. Just the thought of them. Just wondering and waiting for not if, but when they will attack. This being the last week of Monster Month, and because I've met all these people that are still loving 76, and there's an IGN documentary about the people that are still playing it. And I've never had anything bad to say about the community of 76. It was always just the game itself didn't seem like why is Max in there? Why is Max in there? Like, not Max in himself. Why is the brother there? Like, that has always been my thing, right? It's always been the lore. And maybe it'll be canon, maybe it won't be canon. And some of it I'm going to go into a little bit with today because I wanted to show some love to the people who still love 76. The meetup happened because of the Chad podcast, as far as I'm concerned. The person, Kent, who is giving lore and story to 76 before 76 had story. So I wanted to show my appreciation. I thought it'd be nice thematically to tie it all together. And this week, for the final week of Monster Month, happy Halloween, everybody. This is coming out a few days before it. Next month, the Discord will be picking... next week. Next month, the Discord will be picking. So if you want to hear any lore in the future, make sure you're in the Discord, because once a week I'll ask a question. But this week, for the final week of Monster Month, I chose this week's lore. And what I chose from Fallout 76 is the Grafton Monster. The Grafton Monster, once a cryptid associated with the town of Grafton, West Virginia, was made into a real-life abomination by Westech at its Huntersville facility. It was made out of the FEV strain 006458, And on October 23rd, 2077, the day the bombs fell, the Grafton monster was created. This creation made a stable yet horrifying mutation based on the same strain that they used to create the Snallygaster. They tweaked the genome, and the monster then shattered its containment unit. But other than that, it seemed like it was something that they could deal with, they could work with, they could mend upon. Mutant Monster was then drugged, sedated, if you will, and put into a transport truck to be brought off-site. So they wanted to make sure that it was elsewhere so it could be looked at more, experimented more, see what FEV had done to it physiologically, psychologically, see if it could be used for any real reason. Remember, FEV was to make super soldiers. And when I get into the description of this thing, seeing this thing on the battlefield would have made you shit your pants. Because of the Great War and the bombs dropping, the convoy was disrupted, and the driver actually, the flash blinded him. He swerves off the road, and the Grafton monster, as it would later be called, escapes into the wild of West Virginia. The creature is hostile to most creatures around it and all player characters. It is gigantic and hairless and gray. It has a massive torso and a three-fingered fist. Three-fingered fist sounds like it'd be like a really good band name. It has stumpy legs, shoulder muscles that hide its head, has no discernible head, and it's very hard to get a headshot on it in-game because of this. It does have these spouts, these spores on its shoulder that act as its weak spot, its critical hit area. And if there is anything I do like about 76 is that when you shoot something, damage flies off of it. I don't know why, but that just tickles my fancy in games in such a way. And it somehow has this ability to maneuver through tight spaces. It kind of reminded me of the Charger from Left 4 Dead, if you've ever played Left 4 Dead. It throws rocks and spews of black liquid against its enemies, its opponents. The rocks remind me somewhat of Super Mutant Behemoths, how they throw rocks. That's all I really have for the baseline stuff, its background and its quick characteristics. But this being 76, which is a MMO or an MMO light, if you will, I don't know if it is technically an MMO. There are variants. There are different versions of it. And I just wanted to read a little bit for you right off the wiki. And I get all of my lore off of Fallout.fandom.com. It's also where I'm going to pull some fun facts and some quick notes for you. Now, this beast, this monster, has a leathery texture to its skin and stands at about 7.5 feet or 2.3 meters tall and is just gross. Just straight up and down gross. So there's the regular grafted monster, the most common variant in the game. There's also the parasitic grafted monster. This grafted monster is infected with parasites and suffering from deep seeping lesions. It is wrapped in green and orange vines, and it is often called in as a reinforcement for the Strangler Heart during the Heart of the Swamp, or as the Alpha Predator in Project Paradise. There's also the Scorched Grafted Monster, a grafted monster under the effect of the Scorched Plague. The variant was only encountered on the Nuclear Winter Morgantown map. I did really like Nuclear Winter. That's all the variants. There's also, they can be found in the Charleston Train Yard, the Charleston Capitol Building, south of Hemlock Holes. It can sometimes appear in the White Springs Golf Club. One has a chance to appear in the Dried Lake Bed during the Grafton Day event in Grafton. Often it shows up. An alpha variant can appear as a boss at the end of Project Paradise. A prime variant will appear as the final boss of the event, Prime Cuts in the Toxic Valley. Has a 1 in 6 chance of spawning as a cryptid in the daily event Queen of the Hunt. And during the Old Weston Shuffle. A little behind the scenes for you right here on the wiki. It says, one of the many cryptids in West Virginia folklore, the Grafton Monster is a popular myth that started in Grafton, West Virginia, when it was allegedly spotted in 1964 by a man driving in his car. It's a cool creature. Like I said, I when I was talking to Dyslexic Eddie and his pals Robert and Hunter, I said that I would play with them. I would like to, because they said they would play. They would show me the ropes and walk me through the story, and we could do everything. And since they're such higher levels, they could kind of walk me through it and be like, this is what this is what that is. And I really want to take them up on that offer. I told them my schedule is kind of whack because I have long days and then I go to the gym and then I get home and I'm exhausted and I want to just veg out sometimes and I don't always want to play a videos James. But I'd really like to take them up on that offer, even if it's 1 day a week. So maybe you'll see me in 76 at some point soon. But that being said, that's really all I have for you on the Grafton Monster from Fallout 76, the last of 2022's Monster Month. And that, my friends, is, in fact, the lore. Okay, so something that I've been very excited about, something that I've been really wanting to know more about, and that is the Amazon Prime TV show Fallout. I guess that's the running title for it, the working title as of right now. They've been putting out these Fallout 25 retrospective videos. Looking back on 25 years, they've had Tim Kaine, Leonard Boyarsky, Fergus. They've had all these people in it. Todd, Pete Hines. I haven't done a Tweet Pete in a while, mostly because I'm by myself and I don't know how to do that. They've been talking about where the series is, and this most recent one of the more recent ones as of the recording of this, has been talking about the show and that it's happening. And then the studio that's working on it released a promotional image. So on Twitter, by Prime Video and Kilter Films, it says, "But it'll be behind me. Congratulations and happy 25th birthday. We made something special for the occasion. Hashtag Fallout, Fallout 25, Bethesda Studios, Bethesda Fallout, and Kilter Films." And it's what appears to be a vault opening. And it reminded me quite a bit of like Fallout 1, like a Fallout 1 vault opening. It's very much like a 76, the way the door is, and reminiscent of 4 and what have you. But just the way the people are staggered in this, and you can see somebody standing there, but also there's like a dude's legs by the door. So what happened there? Like we haven't seen anything yet other than this. And then today we get this video where they're talking about it, and the director of it, Todd Howard is talking about how he liked this director and he liked Westworld and he liked the writing of it. And it's an interview going on. And the woman who's giving the interview to the director, they go, "So tell me about Fallout." And he goes, "Sorry, what?" And she's like, "Can you tell me a little bit about Fallout?" He goes, What's Fallout?" And as he says that, you see the arm. Like, I don't feel like enough people were talking about this. Like, they're talking about the legs on Twitter. Maybe I just didn't see it. I was at work all day. But you see a power armor hand, an arm just reach in. It's probably behind me, just this clip on loop. This hand kind of reach in and hand this guy a Nuka-Cola, and he sips from it, and he goes, oh, Fallout. Yeah, you mean the game that's like incredibly addicting to play and very well written? And, you know, Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 kind of have the same ending. We can talk about it later. Also, side note, I realized I've been saying Emil's name wrong. It's not Emil, it's Emil. And she says, "Well, what's so enticing about the series to you?" And he goes, "I'll put it to you this way. 10 years ago, I wanted to write the next great American novel, and now I'm writing for television." And then, before I even saw that, there was an IMDb leak that I think I saw from like the Nukapedia, the Fallout wiki, fallout.fandom.wiki. They tweeted this out, that it says on IMDb, and I think anybody can just kind of do this. It says, "As the Brotherhood of Steel invade Vault City, it is the job or Mike and Elizabeth to rescue the citizens." So there's a typo in it. Should probably say the job of Mike and Elizabeth. It's roughly putting this like in Fallout 2. Fallout 2, the end of Fallout 2, it's pre-New Vegas, which also means it's pre-Fallout 3. And I just hope they don't mess with the lore too much. Don't change things to benefit the show. And also don't make the Brotherhood the sole focus of the show. I hope they show up as a plot device, honestly. Like, I hope it's like you watch, if this is true, this could be completely bogus. I don't know. As far as I know, I bet you money that I'm going to stop playing. I'm going to stop recording this, and I'm going to walk into my living room to go play Fallout for like 30 minutes before I go to bed. And I'm just going to see that this was a bogus claim. But let's just play in the reality that this is happening. Establish the Brotherhood early on. Show them in the background. The Brotherhood is used by Tandy's force to then invade into Vault City to make it part of NCR. Show this. Do not rely on them. Do not make them the main characters. Show me Walton Goggins and his big anus teeth. Do not harp on that. Do not harp on the Brotherhood. Fallout should not just be the Brotherhood. They're interesting, yes. Are they an incredible plot device? Absolutely. I love the Brotherhood questline in New Vegas. I love the Brotherhood in Fallout 1. I think the Brotherhood in Fallout 3 works. I see argument all the time. They shouldn't be in Fallout 3. And I get it, and I agree with you to an extent, but this feels like a new branch of the government. This almost feels like what they did with the FEV on the East Coast. I feel like that's excusable. I feel like this is excusable. What they did in DC for the Brotherhood. This show, they're going to have them. They have to have them. It's Fallout. It's the cover of the fudging game, my guy. Look, right next to Wes Johnson's signature. That's like, you know what I'm saying? That's T45. T45D right there, big boy. And then I don't even have my Fallout 4 that I could pull out. But Fallout 1, the cover was T51. Like, it's part of the series. It's part of the game. I get it. Don't harp on it. It's not the only faction that exists. Show me the followers. In the comments, I'd love to hear what you think. I'd love to hear what your pitches are, what your ideas are. I hope you guys are well. I hope you've celebrated Fallout's 25th birthday with me in some capacity. I hope you had a good are gonna have a good Halloween. I hope you're happy. I hope you're content. I hope you're smiling. I hope you've met some people that make you smile. I hope you feel like you're part of a community. My name has been Vince. This has been Atomic Radio Hour. I love you very much. If you'd like to get the intro song to the show, it's by Shane Ivers. It's called Feather Duster. silvermansounds.com/free music for all of his heaters. Throw in a /Feather Duster to get the intro to the show here. Thank you to the Patreon. Thank you for supporting us there or supporting us on Redbubble at a smaller monetary way. Share this with a friend. Pass it around. I appreciate you for watching. I love you very much. I will be seeing you soon. I'll be seeing you next week. Be safe. Bye, everybody.
Atomic Radio Hour Podcast. A Ghoulman Entertainment production.